Alright, how we doing, folks? Here, Bull Marcos 18205. Numbers after the name. Little games beating, man. Sorry I couldn't get this up last week, man. Stupid busy over here. Game number 30 of the year, which is actually just the Dark Souls DLC. I decided to kind of count them all as their own game, partially because they took me such a long time to beat. Not necessarily DLC itself, but just Dark Souls itself, so I definitely want to make sure I get everything I gotta say up on the channel. But also, I've done DLCs kind of, as long as they're relatively lengthy, a couple hours, I'll count them as a game. That's time that I could have been using to play the game that I'm playing right now, you know, so I kind of treat them that way. And sometimes DLCs are standalone, you know, or actually get this month on PS Plus, or I guess next month. I don't know when this video come out. It's still July when this video comes out. Alright. So in August, we're getting PS Plus the Assassin's Creed DLC, and that's actually standalone. I was a little bit confused when I saw it. Anyway, this is the first piece of the DLC that the Sunken Crown, or whatever, the King, Sunken Crown, King, whatever the hell it's called. You can look it up in the title of the video. Alright. A couple things about it. First off, I think it's a gang, and I'm playing the Scholar First Sin Edition, so it came ready with the game and actually purchased it. But I was telling Ellie about this. I was like, it's a pretty gangster move, and really a move that I'm not sure what other game could really pull off. I'm sure there's another example of a game that does this. But this is the first time I've run into it where I purchased the DLC. Well, if I were to purchase the DLC, I wouldn't have a damn clue where to even get it from. It's not like you go and, you know, there's the option of like play main game and play, you know, DLC or whatever. No. This just grants you, in the case if you bought it, I guess, like an item, which would have been helpful, I suppose. You kind of get a new item in your inventory. If you pay attention to the fact that you got a new item in your inventory, you can read it and maybe figure out where to go. But in the Scholar First Sin Edition, you just maybe get it, maybe don't, throughout the transcourse of the game, and then you got to figure out where to go anyway. So needless to say, I looked it up because I was like, I don't know what the hell it has. I actually ended up having, you know, all three of the items that I needed to get into all three DLCs, but hell if I knew where exactly I was going. At least the first time around. Then afterwards I was kind of like, oh, you got to look at the statue. Okay, I remember where that one is, I remember where that one is. So you kind of get a little bit of an idea. But still, come on, homie. Never seen a game that like makes it difficult to get into the DLC. The area itself is pretty cool. It's definitely one of my favorite ones in Dark Souls 2. Not so much the area, like the kind of mechanics or anything of it, even though I do enjoy a little bit of the mechanics of it with like towers, you could kind of come up and down. But the backtracking to it, it really made me feel Dark Souls 1 like, where I'd start up at the top, I looked around, I'm like, alright, I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna go there, and then when you get to like points, you look back, you're like, oh, that's over there, that's over here, shortcut, shortcut. It made me feel a lot more Dark Souls 1-ish than any of the Dark Souls 2 game did. You know, it was kind of, Dark Souls 2 was kind of warp from here, warp from here, warp from here. This game, you still warp to Majula and whatnot, but the area itself was pretty self-contained, so I really like that. Aside from that, though, hard as hell. Now, I didn't expect it to be easy necessarily, but I definitely didn't expect it to be this hard, man. And I mean, I'll talk to the bosses in a second. I beat 3 bosses in the area. Well, I beat 3 bosses, all 3 bosses in the area. And, man, I can't wait to tell you about the next piece of DLCs. Woo! I got a story for that. But, you know, just the enemies themselves were pretty tough. And I'd been kind of on cruise control for, like, the past couple, like, towards the end of Dark Souls 2. It really wasn't that difficult. Even the final boss, although I did probably try for, like, 30, 40 minutes, I always felt like I was going to beat it. Like, it was never any, like, debate. It was just a matter of getting my timing right or whatnot and kind of learning some patterns and taking a bit. Whereas this, though, just getting through the areas was a pain. And then you got to these bosses, and the first boss is kind of like, it's kind of like the end boss of Dark Souls 2. I think it's like a sister or something like that. Don't quote me on the lore. But she could summon other bosses. So sometimes she'll summon skeletons, which is cool. You could fight off the skeletons or keep them around like I ended up doing and just kill her. You know, you can work with that. But sometimes she'll summon like other bosses, like the Guardian for Vendrick or whatever. She'll just summon that dude. And I'm like, hold up. This boss just summoned a boss. Like, what the hell is going on over here? And then we got this dragon dude. Oh my goodness. And you're going to see I end up summoning some people just because I didn't have any other recourse. So what happens when you summon in this game, at least in the DLC, because I didn't really summon during the regular game. That's part of the reason why I also didn't care about summoning DLC. I didn't summon during the regular game, so I kind of wanted to get that experience. But although it makes it easier because there are other people that the boss focuses on, like a heal and stuff like that, it makes it harder because it discounts all your damage. So let's say if you were doing 400 damage previously. Now you're doing 200 or even 100, depending on like the situation or whatnot. So it kind of encapsulates that difficulty. Another thing with this guy is, and this dude is just unbelievable, is my weapons would go like they break. Like it has like some sort of a, I don't know, it's not petrified, whatever, but it has some sort of thing that makes your weapons break. So it's crazy. Like the first couple times, like I had him down to like a half health, and all of a sudden my chalice just break, and I'd be confused. I'd be like, I don't know why that broke. What's going on? And then I gotta go try to switch to the menu. And then he popped me, and I'd be like, yeah, he's gonna pop me. I'm over here trying to switch weapons, and I like to fly while I fight this dude. What the hell is going on? So this guy took me like a day and some change. You know, I didn't play the whole day, but at least like an hour and a half worth of throwing myself in there. And then the last boss is just these 3 guys. Honestly, I didn't really have too much of an issue with them. I think it took me a second try to do it, and I soloed that. And I soloed the first one as well, but I did use some help over here with some NPCs. Your boy Marcos, man. Deuces.